Hello, today is I think July 15th. Let me see real quick. Yeah, July 15th. Um my name is Benjamin Brown. I'm kind of going through a lot right now. Uh Excuse me. Um so I'm in the process of claiming asylum here in Montreal, Canada. I seem to be the work and the product of a global government collaborative effort to expose government corruption on high ranking levels, which I didn't really know. My life and my existence is tied to the indigenous peoples of the Western Hemisphere. It's tied to Germany and England. I think maybe Russia and the Middle East and the Mediterranean, as well as drugs, drug trafficking conspiracies, um, specifically a derivative of opium called heroin, which alludes to the act of heroism. I'm not sure if heroin is feminine. I think I've used it before in reference to multiple heroes, but I think it at the very least alludes to me or to my daughter. I'm the inspiration behind some of the American comic book franchises, and at the very least, the way they exist in their refined state, from Superman to Batman to Bruce Banner, Benjamin Brown, Peter Parker. There's a character in the Incredible Hulk, which alludes to my father, called Maestro, and my dad was in fact a teacher. And the resemblance is nothing short of uncanny. I don't support Marvel Comics because it's currently owned by the Disney Corporation, and its ties to the Department of Defense and the North American Department of Defense, and I'm actually at odds with them right now, and it's the reason that I'm in Canada. Um, I'm also like the inspiration, I guess, behind this book that was turned into a movie called The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. And in The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, there's this connection to a clock tower. There's also a famous clock tower in England called Big Ben. And there's also some connection between those things and this one version of Back to the Future movie franchise, in the Back to the Future trilogy, in which they use lightning striking a clock tower to travel back into the normal point in time after having fixed whatever has been disrupted in time. And the last name of the doctor that is a time traveling doctor in the Back to the Future trilogy is Dr. Brown. I think Emmett Brown, which is another allusion to the M or the Mexican mob or the drug trafficking conspiracy. Um, there's also another one that I don't regularly mention because it's kind of dark. And I guess like the hero like dies in the end, having sacrificed himself to disrupt and set things right. But in order for all the people that he cared about to like continue and exist, he has to go back in time and kill himself. And it's called Donnie Darko. Um, there's also like all these Japanese cartoons. There's this Japanese cartoon called Full Metal Alchemist, which alludes to me and some sort of conflict between me and my little brother. It's directly elusive, indirectly elusive. The same thing with Inuyasha. It's indirectly elusive to some sort of conflict that I exist with my older brother, my older half brother, and my half little brother. Um, they've used people that resemble my older brother Zachary for for the popularized Stephen Strange comic book franchise. There's music that alludes to me or alludes to what's being done to me. There's some of the more popular acts and some of the more popular songs allude to me directly or indirectly. And I'm here in Montreal, and I have to prove that the crimes that I committed, I was influenced into committing by psychic or technological means. I was born on the first, and my son was born on the second. There's absolutely no way, even if I had planned things just right, that I could have done this. How could I have impregnated Jennifer Carrillo at just the right moment, at just the right hour, so that the baby would develop at just the right time, so that he would be born on August 2nd. The second woman that I had a baby with was Jennifer Palos. And of course, there's something sort of wrong with me, obviously, if I go and I have, like, a child with this girl named Jennifer, and then I go and find another girl named Jennifer, and then have another child. It seems completely irrational, and it was irrational, and I'm not in complete control of myself because I'm being influenced through technological and psychological means. On top of manipulation, there's like this device in my head that you can't see, and I guess engineering, genetic engineering, made it so that the cerebral neural network in my brain was easier to access for this technological advanced implant, which hijacks my nervous system and my neuro network. Neuroscience sounds really fun, but I'm I'm trying to fight this case here. The government's ignoring me, with the exception of the ghost agents that they have stationed on me. Because of the way that these people that run the world play their games, I have no idea of knowing who the ghost agent soldiers on me are. I assume they're North American because it's North America that I have some sort of problem with. I assume that the French and English governments somewhere have like some faction somewhere that are interested in making contact with me. I think what they're trying to do is I think that they're trying to run me out of Montreal. And now that I have been here and now that I've set some sort of groundwork for somebody, I think what they're going to do is they're going to run me out of here and they're going to put my clone here. And they're going to have a bunch of people from like England or France or wherever that are involved in this operation meant to expose government corruption and negligence. Come through and watch as they treat him really nice, and as he does some paperwork and touches base with cops and agents or whatever. But in the end, I don't really know the full story when it comes to my clones. I'm Ben Brown. If they want to be Ben Brown too, there's probably some sort of process. But I don't know. I'm not really the one that's in control of those things any more than I'm in control of whether or not I get up in the morning and go to work, or whether or not I wake up and I write a poem, or whether or not I get up and what I go and find at the store. I've been having trouble getting my emails and my letters and my phone calls through. I guess there's somebody in in the Canadian National Security who has some sort of issue and is being exposed. This close relationship between the North American government and the Canadian government has definitely something to do with drug trafficking. Although the one thing I can say is I've never been in Canada and purchased drugs, but part of the reason that drugs were so profitable in North America, and it's part of the reason that they destabilized the Mexican and southern American territories, is in order to traffic drugs through the territory, and and on top of other things, unbalance the standard of living, so that there was people that were living in certain territories that had more readily access to wealth, which essentially means that the people picking strawberries for a nickel an hour are the ones that are paying for the abundance that we have in North America and Canada and wherever else they send their produce to. Although I guess those things really can't be all the things, right? That can't be like the only solution as to what it is that's going on, or as a source of the problem. I was taught that the only thing that a country needs to be financially resourceful and financially self-sufficient is water, sun, and dirt. You can produce cotton, you can produce coffee, you can produce all kinds of different things. And even if your country is relatively not well-to-do, at the very least, you can be self-sufficient. I guess a lot of the prices on things are controlled. I know that they've been controlling the prices on corn. I know they've been controlling the prices on beef. And I learned somewhere that when you do something like alter and increase the value of something like eggs, it completely disrupts the economic chain and the economic system. And all of a sudden, people are forced to charge more for transporting them. All of a sudden, you're paying more for gas. All of a sudden, you're paying more for rice. All of a sudden, you're paying more for wheat. All because somebody somewhere was greedy and decided to charge you 50 cents an egg instead of charging you what should have been 15 cents an egg or 20 cents an egg. So I've learned a little bit about economics. It's something that interests me. I've learned a little bit about, I've learned a lot about religion. And I'm doing my best to try to like keep my head above water. A lot of these things are extremely discouraging to the point where I've kind of lost my sense of self in the only thing that I really do for myself, or the only thing that like I really have access to that I enjoy, is like the things that I eat. The strangest things have just been happening to me. People walking through walls, time travel. That's the other thing. The other time travel movie that was like loosely the inspiration for, which was based on the H.G. Wells novel, The Time Machine. It actually turned it into a movie. I guess there's like these villains or these like lesser evolved characters in the H.G. Wells story called Morlocks. I think it's elusive to the purported story of the Islamic occupation of Spain, the Moors. I don't think that that's just like a made up thing. I think that this is specifically elusive to this event, which is supposed to be like the Day of Judgment, as alluded to in the Jewish and Christian and Muslim religions. I've sincerely taken an interest in religion, and it's been I can honestly say maybe two parts vanity and one part sincerity, but maybe two parts sincerity and one part vanity. I don't know. They've got this psychiatrist, psychologist doctor on me who's always harassing me and always trying to really hurt my level of confidence. It's to the point now that he doesn't let me lift weights. I think that it's because they're planning on arresting me and putting me away for something that they know I didn't do, so that they continue to protect their corrupt officials and their corrupt leaders. And of course, there's like North American cops out there that are living in like manors or something that like that have made their money and their fortunes trafficking drugs and participating and cooperating with the government corruption. Because I mean, North America has access to like ghost technology and UFOs. I mean, what's to stop them? They also have underground military bases. I mean, what's to stop them from cutting out the Colombian drug lords and the Mexican drug traffickers and just growing cocaine and opium in their underground military bases? There's no way they don't have access to those things, and there's no way they haven't done those things. But there seems to be some sort of like contract or some sort of agreement as to what they're all doing, which means North America military officials probably occasionally grow opium and grow cocaine in their underground military bases just to like sell a little here and sell a little there. But they've got to keep their they've got to keep their people in Bolivia and Peru and Colombia happy, and they've got to keep their contacts in Afghanistan happy. My dad used to tell me this one story about like how the CIA during this conflict with Russia used to send these airplanes full of weapons and ammunition to the Middle East. And one brilliant guy somewhere said, well, hey, if we're going to send these big military aircrafts out there stocked full of weapons, we should be bringing something back. And the thing that they decided to bring back was opium or heroin or some sort of opium derivative. These were allegations, of course, and people know about those things, but I don't really know if anybody ever got in trouble or not. But obviously, with access to underground military bases, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense having to traffic your drugs from another country into this country, which means that they were either doing something or they were catering to someone's desire or something. But at any rate, I'm here fighting my case. I think it's going to be rejected. I have substantial evidence. I have a lot of evidence that people are directing popular culture's attention towards me and my life and my daughter. I'm the inspiration for the Warner Brothers cartoon Yakko. My son is Wacko and my daughter is Dot. There's crass allusions and crass jokes in the Animaniacs series that allude to my daughter's having sex with homosexuals. I feel like the implication is because of rape, because I don't think that my daughter would have sex with someone who's gay, but there's more than one girl, so I don't really know. There's also this allusion to my son working for police, and it's also like elusive to the Star Wars franchise and series, which I don't really mess with. I was a fan of it as a child, but the minute that I found out that it was associated with Hindu mythology, I started to stay away from it and shun it. And that's part of the reason it didn't really bother me that the Disney Corporation bought the rights to the Star Wars franchises. Hinduism and its mythologies and philosophies seem to be self-destructive. It's not something that I carry with me, but if there's a band of sacred Indian warriors out there that believe in something holy and believe in going all out for something that's important and something that's valuable and standing up for what's right and things like that, then there's no way I wouldn't use some of those figures as something of a role model, because I mean people that are loyal to these like ideas or this body of laws or values, and that believe and look around and see the world as like a magical mystical place, like those things, like I could believe in like sacrificing yourself for those kinds of things and like going all out for those kinds of things, and there's no way that's not what I wouldn't want to embody. Celebrating that we are all sacred and celebrating that we are all profound in some way, no matter how much a ruling, corrupt aristocracy and hierarchy mean to restrain us or oppose us or subvert us. And I don't have a whole lot of information on holy Arab warriors. Somebody says they existed. There's the Tanakh and there's the Quran. I don't really have any evidence of those religions existing prior to the 1800s. I don't know. I'm still in the darkness. And I guess the story of Jacob wrestling with the messenger of God in the dark is supposed to allude to what it is that I'm going through. I guess the Eine kleine Nacht music written by Mozart alludes to this, and it's one of my favorite pieces, and I listen to it a lot. I was introduced to Mozart by my father. I loved my father dearly, and he was murdered with a heart attack. And that's part of my asylum complaint too, which means that whoever it is that's ignoring me here in Canada or is just letting whatever it is that's going on is loyal to some other plan and is in no way concerned or considerate of the desires of the common majority and the common welfare of the working classes and the lower classes. I'm trying to get everything that I need to get done. I'm always restrained. People are always exhausting me mentally and physically, using the device in my head or otherwise, and I'm not at my best. But for anybody out there that deserves, somebody to stick their neck out for them, I'm trying my best. And if there's something that I can do to change, or if there's something more that I'm lacking, please don't be shy to tell me or ask me or direct my attention in the right places. All right.